This is the first video on array lists, and I'm going to be comparing it to arrays in general, which I've created a fruit array. So if you're not familiar with just plain old arrays, you probably should go back and review basic arrays. But right now I have a string array that's created called fruits, and it's just going to store some fruits in it. I've got apple, orange, grape, and watermelon. So if you remember from standard arrays, my array length is 4. I have 4 items in this array, 4 fruits. That list, or that, I should say that array length cannot change. It is 4. I can manipulate each of those items in the array. I could change a watermelon to a banana if I want to, but I cannot add anything to an array. I can't make it longer. And so that's maybe one downfall of an array. But an array list is something that is fluid. It can be changed. We can add to an array list. We can take away from an array list. We can change things in the list. And so an array list is kind of like, if you think of a scanner, remember we needed an import statement at the top. Import java.util. An array list is part of the Java library utility that we can access. So this import statement is here. It's warning me because I haven't used it, but I'm about to use it right now when I create an array list. So an array list, again, is just a list of items that I'm going to keep in memory, but maybe I want to add, subtract, or change, and I want to manipulate it. And this is going to be a string, an array list of strings, and I'm going to call this array list veggies. So I'm going to keep track of veggies in this list. Now, it's a little bit harder to do an initializer list like we did with an array. This apple, orange, grape, watermelon is an initializer list. With an array list, we kind of want to just create a list in memory first, or actually allocate memory for a list. So we're going to go new array list, and we are going to tell it how long it's going to be. You don't necessarily have to, but I'm going to start with a 3 there to signify I'm going to have 3 items. Now, what I want to do first is make the list and then dump things into the list. And the way that I do that is I just go veggies, so I'm referring to the list, dot add. I'm going to add something to the list. And in parentheses, I'm going to put what I'm going to add. So I will put carrot, and I'm going to add another item here on the next line, veggies dot add, and we'll go with peas, and then veggies dot add broccoli. Okay. Now, if I take a look at this, I have an array, a basic array at the top, which is not an array list, just an array, 4 items. And let's go back. We're going to use a for loop to loop through both of these arrays. It's a good thing to know. A lot of for loops with arrays and array lists. And so if our for loop needs a counter. We start at 0 because remember the index 0 is the first item in the list. And I need to run through this loop as long as I is less than. And for the fruits array, the way that we do it is we do fruits.length. We want to be less than the length, and we increment. And what I do is I output each item. Now in an array, your standard array, here we go, fruits I, because we want fruit 0, fruit 1, fruit 2, fruit 3, and we want to stop because apple is 0, orange is 1, grape is 2, watermelon is 3. We want to stop. And because I'll try to get a list to print out here, I will add some spaces. And then next what I'm going to do is actually add just an output, enter, a new line. And now I'm going to print out the veggies. And I'm going to again use a counter like I would before. And remember, it's okay if I use an I here, because the I is a local variable. Int I only stays inside this for loop. It doesn't see it outside the loop. I'm going to go I is less than. Now, with the veggie array list, if we try to do the same thing that we did with a regular array, and we go veggies.length, you can see that I actually am going to have a little bit of a problem here. And if I try to print the veggie array list like I did with a regular array, then you're going to see that I am going to have another problem here. Okay, so I have two differences that I have to know and understand when working with a regular array, and that would be this, and when working with an array list, this for loop. Okay, they're not the same. Their notation, their syntax is not the same. So the changes are these. If you remember, we did veggies.add up here. And there's a little method. It's an add method. Add a caret. It's a little method, a little program that does something for me. And so I just need to know the method for the length. And it's pretty self-explanatory, except for they changed the word on you. It's not length. This time it's size, and it's a method. Okay, so that problem here, I'll go veggies dot size. Okay, and I see that I had a mistake on the name, but that was not the issue before. If I change it back to length, you'll see that that error will pop up again. It doesn't like that because I'm dealing with an array list. So I need a method to manipulate the array list. And then the other thing here is I need the method that's going to fetch what veggies is. So if I go veggies I still have a mistake. I still have an error. It's not working right. And again, it's not going to be to add. It's not going to be like size or tell me the size of it. It's going to be basically to get it. And so what I want is I want veggies to get. So what I'm telling it to do is I'm running out and I'm getting it. But remember, with an array, we needed to know which one to get. And so I'm going to put the I inside there because it's going to go get veggies 0, veggies 1, veggies 2, and then it's going to end because remember we have veggies 1 carrot, veggies 2 peas. I apologize. This is veggies 0 carrot, veggies 1 peas, veggies 2 broccoli. And now I can see that I have no errors in my program. I am printing the list of fruits here with a regular array, and I'm printing the list of veggies here with an array list. So I am going to run this and just show that I have my lists up here. Fruits listed on one line. I have my println statement to get me to the next line, and my veggies there. Now later on, of course, down here, if I feel like it after I've printed that list, I could go veggies.add, and I could add something to the list if I'd like. I could add a new veggie, corn, and now guess what? My list is not 3 things long anymore. My list is now 4. So I actually changed the length of the array list, unlike anything that I could do with a regular array. So if I print out this, if I print the list out a second time here, you'll see that it's actually going to be longer the second time I print it out. And so I was just going to make sure there's a little spacing here between the lists and run this thing. And you can see here that it prints the first list, carrot, peas, broccoli. It adds corn, and then it prints the corn at the end. So an array list is nice because you can change the size of it. So there you have it. There's kind of a basic foundational understanding of an array list, how to declare it, how to initialize it and fill it and add to it, how to talk about how long it is, and how to fetch something or get something from an array list.